Hello and welcome to episode 173 of Daryl Show Your Work. All right, so in this episode, I'll be conducting a malware investigation with Splunk and VirusTotal. All right, so before I jump into that, I want to give my usual reminder to please check out INE for their cybersecurity training and certification offerings. They offer a wide array of red teaming and blue teaming certifications that range from different skills levels. Whether you're looking for something junior or advanced level penetration testing, or something blue teaming like system admin and incident response, they provide it all. So please check them out. If you go to get.ine.com/Daryl and enter in product code INF dash INF 100 dash Brooks Tech, you'll get 10% off any of your purchases with the exception of live virtual trainings. So please check that out, and so you can equip yourself with those hands-on, in-demand skills that's needed in the cybersecurity arena. All right, so in conducting my malware investigation here, I'll be using both Splunk and VirusTotal. So I'm going to get started on that. And the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have to actually navigate. Let me get out of here. Well, I could reach. Let me see. Let me open Firefox from here. All right, so I'm going to actually navigate to where Firefox is being hosted on the network. All right, and that is at http slash slash. Excuse my keyboard there. All right, and then it's going to be at 192.168.1.8, and then I believe it's using port 8000. All right, so for those that may not know, Splunk is a SIM tool which basically aggregates several logs throughout a network to then be able to correlate different sorts of events and behaviors to determine if there is an event and in some sort of cybersecurity event, and if it is, to determine if it needs to be upgraded to an incident. But the main thing that as analysts we have to remember, when looking at logs, is to determine if it is a true positive or a false positive. So that's one thing that required in your skill set when using a SIM tool. All right. So let's see. I am going to go to apps and then search and reporting. All right. Then I'm going to change this last 24 hours to all time. All right. So it broadens my view here. All right, and then let me see. I'm gonna try to paste this query in here. Give me a second. All right. All right. So let me paste that in here. All right. So what this query is going to do is going to identify which destination IP explorer.exe is connecting to. All right. So we want to be able to look at that specific process. All right. So this is going to help determine if the system is compromised and track the attacker's infrastructure. All right. So let's just get that going. Okay. Let's see. It didn't like that. Huh. It didn't return anything. Let's see, let me make sure my syntax is all right here. Let's repaste that again. Could be something off of my syntax. There we go. Okay, I think something was off of my syntax. All right, so the first thing we want to pay attention. All right, so we have at least four different IP addresses here that looks like Explorer dot exe is connected to. All right, so we have 141.92.23.83. We have 134.255.231.136. Let's see. Then we have 51.15.65.182 and 204.79.97.203. All right. So we can see that explorer.exe is connecting to four different um, destination IPs, which kind of raises a bit of red flags here. So the next thing that I want to do is I want to see if any of these IPs are known to be malicious, and the way that I can do that is by using VirusTotal, which is a database that contains several different um, signatures of known malware or malicious IPs, that analysts can check if they come across these type of signatures or attributes when looking at logs. All right, so I'm going to visit VirusTotal here, and let's see what we can deduce. All right, so if I go to URL, let's look. Matter of fact, hold on, there's something I want to do before I jump into VirusTotal. Let's go back to Splunk here, and this one I'm gonna use one of these IP addresses as an example of how once we gain these once we have some of these questionable looking IP addresses, how we could then further query Splunk to then narrow our focus on just one particular set of attributes. In this case, IP addresses. So I'm going to choose, for example, this 51 address here. All right, and I'm going to run this query again instead of using the star for all. I'm gonna specifically focus on the 51.15.65.182 um, address. Okay, so just looking this over a bit. All right, so there's a few things I want to look at. So let's look at the destination. Well, let's go to SourcePort. All right. So one thing that I want to look for, if it's connecting to some sort of underutilized port, that's another indicator. All right. So see here in SourcePort, it looks like it's connected to port 49766. All right. And excuse me, yeah, this it's using this as the source port. So all right, so that's an underutilized port. Is not necessarily known to be associated with any commonly used port. So that's a way that attackers or malicious users, they can hide their activities, is by using underutilized ports. So that's why this stands out as far as 49766 being the source port. And if I go up to destination port here, let's see where it's actually connecting to. And again, it's so on the destination side, it's connecting to 10 300. All right, and again, that's not really a common or a popular port that's used. All right, so again, this is indicative of possible malicious behavior, but we want to verify that. All right. So, like we always say in security, trust but verify. All right. So back to VirusTotal as far as where we can go to verify. All right. So I'm gonna start typing in some addresses. So let's start with 204.79.197, and then the last octet there was 203. All right. Let's see what it comes back with. All right, so far this comes back as at least no known malicious attributes. All right, so just because it doesn't have anything known, there could be 0 days, but at least immediately there's no known flags as far as this address. So let's look up a few others. Let's look up our friend at that 51 address. 51.15.65.182. All right. Sorry about that. Let's fix this. Sorry, my keyboard here. Okay. All right. Let's check it out. Okay. Yeah, those are the right numbers. All right. So let's look that up. And look at there. We got a hit. All right. So according, these are the vendors, all right, on the left here that have flagged this URL for known malicious activity. Okay, so we can see here that out of all the vendors here listed, that at least 10 have flagged this. Excuse me, not 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 have flagged this as but 6 have flagged it as malware, and one has simply flagged it as as a miner, all right, as a mining tool. So probably some sort of crypto mining, perhaps. All right, and then we have different. I'm not going to click on that, but we have different maybe YouTube videos covering the exact nature of this IP. All right, and then we have different. We have other details about the nature of what's here. All right, and it says alphamountain.ai. All right, so let's look up those other two IPs here. All right, so the next one was that 134.2 dot 255. You see, and that was 2 231, and then 136. All right, let's look that up. All right, same thing. So this has been flagged by two different vendors here. Well, not two. I'm sorry, one vendor. All right, we got this is actually the score that's associated with the malicious URL. All right, so this has been flagged as being malicious, and then I'm going to look up the last one here. Let me see. It's 23, and then 83. Okay. All right, and so this one has been flagged as well. So out of the four different IP addresses that we found in the logs there in the sim logs, all right, it looks like four of them, excuse me, three of them out of the four were actually malicious. So this was just an example of how it is that we can use queries in Splunk, all right, and then and look for different suspicious processes and see where they're connecting to, and then correlate those connections to certain ports that may stand out as far as being underutilized or uncommon ports, and then take our suspicions and confirm them into using a database such as VirusTotal that would confirm or whether or not or immediately confirm whether or not um, those um, those sites would be considered malicious. All right. So some key takeaways here. So with the sysmon log analysis, all right, I leveraged the Windows sysmon logs to identify and track suspicious system activity. And as far as process investigation, I discovered the explorer.exe, a commonly abused process that was that was being used for potentially malicious activity. And then in terms of the IP address, identification. I extracted those IPs from explorer.exe, in which it, in which it communicated with, which provided insight into those external connections. And then, as far as the threat intelligence correlation, I checked these IPs against total to where I confirmed which ones were associated with the malicious activity, which it was 3 out of the 4 that again that I discovered. And then finally, with the network traffic analysis, analyzed source and destination port to understand how the malware was communicating and which services it was using. All right, so that brings me to the end of my video here. Please like, share, and subscribe. Most importantly, show your work. And please make sure you check out INE for their cybersecurity, red teaming, blue teaming certifications. Get your hands-on skills and increase the marketability of your resume and your portfolio. And until next time, take care of yourself and God bless.